All right, Mets fans, let's go. Let me remove this right here. That shouldn't be there. All right, let me try to look halfway professional as I rock the spot. So, Mets fans, welcome to what's the name of the channel this week, everybody? I've been changing it. I had no idea. I had no earthly idea that there was a channel, a Mets thing called Mets Up. So, shout out to them. I changed the name to New York Mets Lounge just because I just don't have a name, a functioning name right now. And I didn't want to go I didn't want to go on and on and on without putting out content and without settling on a name. So what I decided to do is use New York Mets Lounge right now. JJ is in the building. What's good, JJ? JJ says, give me that Mets talk the way that we like to have that Mets talk to us. Bim. So, JJ, I'm struggling with the name of the channel. It's called New York Mets Lounge right now. I was just talking to Hoodie Kev about a name. I like the name Amazing Mets, but it's kind of generic. It's kind of generic, you know. Um, I had no idea that there was a Mets Up pod, and then I saw it, and then I recognized that I did know, but it didn't dawn on me that I couldn't use All Mets Up. So I used All Mets Up because I liked the way it sounded, and then I saw Mets Up, and I was like, I'm a copycat, and I'm not a copycat, and I'm not a copycat. I did all I need is a moniker because the content is definitely gonna be distinct. I just need a name to separate us from others that are in the same space. So here we are. Others are on the way. Let me do a couple of things. I have a new setup here. And so let me do this. Let me go to the community tab and say, all right, all right, we are live. Okay, we are live. Join in on. There we go. All right, let me put this out there. Bim. All right. So Hoodie Cav says that Mets Avenue. I'm certain that's already taken. I'm certain that's already taken. And the name I really like is leadoff hitter or the leadoff. I like the way that sounds. It's marketable, but it's not Mets related. It's not Mets related. So, so Jeff McNeil signs his extension for what it's 4 years, 55 or something like that, man. I um I think the Mets signed him. I think the Mets got him on a pretty good deal. Right? The Mets got him on a pretty good deal. But let me ask you guys before I get into the meat of the conversation, I want to ask you guys, how many games do you guys generally go to live per season? Yeah, that was yeah. Like 4 years, 55. That was a steal. That I think that's less than 15 a year. That's like 14 a year. So Hoodie Kev says there is no Mets Ave on YouTube, but I thought I saw it on YouTube, which is odd. So Hoodie Kev is probably right, but let me double check YouTube, man, because YouTube can be funny. So there is a Talking Mets with Rob. There is a Shea Station. There's a Yankees Ave. There's a Yankees Avenue. Okay. There is a Mets podcast, We Gotta Believe. There's a Ball Cap Sports, whatever. I'm looking for some SNY. Okay. MLB, of course, we know those guys. All right. So we are live. Okay. MLB. Hoodie Cab, he might be right. Locked On Mets. Okay. They generally. $161 River Ave. They're talking about the Bronx. Okay. Talking baseball. SNY. Okay. Okay. JJ says he goes to about 10 games a year, usually on Friday or Saturday. JJ, is it expensive to go to games now in Queens? Is that expensive? I generally, so I have the Knicks and Mets thing going on, right? I have the Mets and Knicks thing going on. I have the it's Hoodie Cav. Hoodie Cav, what's good?
God, my collar's always shacked up whenever I get online.
You gotta starch them down. Okay. So Hoodie Kev, how many games do you go to per year? And is it cost friendly, family friendly when you go?
I have a confession to make. I'm ashamed to say that Major League Baseball is the only sporting event I've never been to in person.
What
I've been to every other sporting event,
type of event?
NBA,
Right.
NFL, NHL, college football, college baseball, college basketball.
I used to catch a lot of college football in Raleigh, North Carolina. I used to like to go watch the Miami Hurricanes and Florida State Seminoles destroy the Wolfpack. And then I go to in Raleigh, North Carolina, and then I also go to Columbia to watch the Gamecocks, bro. The Gamecocks in person. Yes.
Well, I'm glad we're talking about ancient history.
Hey, Billy Bryce, bro. You can catch Alabama, Tennessee, Florida, Auburn. You can catch all those football teams coming to Texas A&M. You can catch all those teams in Columbia. So, I generally go. Ticket is probably like 80 bucks, something like that. Really good seats. And, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was at the Thursday, the I'll tell the story. It's going to sound like I'm important, but I'm not. I went to the Gamecock Central Florida game, and Ric Flair was there. It was Steve Spurrier's first year as coach or something, first or second year. And I was in the same section as Ric Flair. And when he was talking, bro, he spoke just like he does. Wow, you're a big dude, brother. You lift weights. Hey, man, I'm just trying to eat my nachos, bro. Hey, I'm just trying to eat these nachos. But anyways, getting back on the topic, man, let me ask, or let me start the topic. What I really like to do is talk about the Mets starting lineup, the batting order, right? And let me see. I'm gonna I'm gonna go really old school, right? I don't have a graph made up. I'm gonna make one up on the fly. I'm
Making one
gonna
up on the fly.
no the graph, not the lineup. I'm gonna make the graph up on the fly, and then I'm gonna share it on the screen. All right, let me see. Let me do this. Let me do this. All right. I'm gonna make a thing that you and I can share and look at together. Okay. Wow, that's too big. Yeah, that's probably too big. Let me do let me do this. I'm gonna make something that we can. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. All right, Hoodie Kev, can you see this? Can you see it yet? Can you see it?
On YouTube?
No, on the screen.
Oh, yes.
All right. So in this leadoff spot, number one, who would you like to see the Mets put in this leadoff spot?
Personally,
Personally, yeah.
Sterling Marte.
Starling Marte. All right. Who would you like to see in this second spot?
Personally, Jeff McNeil.
Jeff McNeil. That's McNeil with 2 L's, right? Yeah. All right.
No, I think it's just one. Is it one or is it two?
Now, 1 L?
I think it's one.
1 L? Okay. That doesn't look right.
Yes, that's right.
Let me Google it. You know, I don't believe
It's
anything.
one L.
You sure?
Yes.
You're right. You are right. You're absolutely right. Okay. You're right. All right. Now, who would you like to see batting third?
Lindor.
All right. Who would you like to see batting fourth?
Clearly, Pete Alonso.
All right. So who would you like to see batting fifth?
Now, this is where it gets complicated.
This is where it gets complicated. JJ, I'm with you. JJ, I'm with you, but I want to see what Hoodie Kev wants to do.
Who do I have at in fifth? Is this like the opening March 31st against the Nationals?
Yeah, I'm thinking I might go to that too, by the way. I think I might get in my old raggedy car, leave South Carolina, drive through North Carolina, drive through Virginia, go to DC, stay in DC for 3 days and watch the Mets in that series.
Because of how he finished last season, I'm going to say
Eduardo Escobar.
I mean, I wish I had another third baseman who probably plays for the Minnesota Twins shortstop, but I don't.
Who's batting sixth?
So he's a switch hitter.
So okay, let me do this. All right. So let me do this just to help out here. So right, left, switch, right. Escobar switch it?
Yes.
Switch. Okay.
I would put who's going to be the DH? That's the thing about it. Who's DHing? Is it Tommy Pham? Is it Daniel Vogelback? Is it Darren Ruff?
We may be here all night, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start filling
because I need to know who's going to DH. Because that is it Pham? Because that's who is it? Because if it's Pham, I'll put Pham at 6.
Of course, that depends on pitching, left-handed, right-handed.
That's what I'm saying. But right now, I'm going to assume it's Tommy Pham right now, and I would just put him DH. I'm just saying, if it's open, the best lineup, like the best lineup, probably have to be Tommy Pham and DH. And I would
Tommy
have
Pham. Tommy Pham. Okay. So you have Tommy Pham, right-handed. I'm sorry. Let me see. Okay, Hoodie Cav. This is off the rails already, right? This is
well,
off the rails already.
you
All
put
right.
Mark
So
Canna there. I didn't put Mark Canna at 6.
where are you gonna put him at?
I would have put Vogelbach. Well, no. Because
You said Tommy Pham. You can't have two DHs in a lineup.
Well,
Okay.
no. Who are we missing? We're missing Nemo
We're missing Nemo.
and Catcher. So I guess Narvaez and then
His name is Miguel Narvaez, right?
Omar
Omar. Oh yeah, Omar Narvaez. Omar
Narvaez.
Narvaez.
I don't think that's how you spell it.
It's Nauva.
It's an E in it. AEZ.
AEZ, you said? Okay.
I think I can Google it.
Okay. Omar. All right. Omar.
Oh God bless me. I did it all on camera.
Narvaez is his name. Omar Narvaez. Okay. I'm sorry about that, Omar. Narvaez. Okay. And he is a right-handed.
He's left-handed, actually.
He's a left-handed catcher. And
Nemo.
Brandon Nemo.
I know that sounds crazy. Why do I have Nemo
Okay.
batting 9th? But I think it works because you got so little productivity last year from the bottom of the lineup that if you put a hitter like Nemo down there, it's almost like having another leadoff hitter for Marte and McNeil.
All right. So this lineup makes no sense in my mind. Right. But what I'll do is we'll save this. This is Hoodie Cav. Right. This is what Hoodie Cav wants. All right. I'm just gonna take this.
JJ, listen. I understand where you're coming from. That's
No,
not the
you
lineup
don't.
that I want either. Okay, it's not. You think I would love to roll out with JT Realmuto, with Ronald Acuna? Heck, I would love. Who's the drunk DH that Atlanta has? What's his name? I can't think of his name.
I don't know what you're talking about. But let me before I do get too deep into that, I'm gonna put mine on the screen. Right. I'm gonna put my guys on the screen how I think this lineup is gonna look.
You didn't say how you think it's going to look. You said, what do you want it to look like?
No, I just because I asked you a question doesn't mean I have to ask like the same type of.
I mean, I know how the lineup is going to look under Buck. You said
Right.
how I want the lineup to look.
Right. Can I not ask you a question about how you want it to look?
But then you can't change it and say, this is what I'm going to look like because this is what Buck is going to do. Well, clearly, I know what Buck is going to do too.
All right.
We just need another. But the question is, I can't think of anyone else who is even remotely out there.
Right. I think we're good. I think we're good just like this. And I'm going to explain it to you
You mean when
why.
you say good? I'm trying to figure like when you say good. You know Alvarez is not making the opening day lineup. You know he's not making the opening day roster.
Really?
That's pretty much been said. But you know, hey, this is yours.
Okay. I'm going to tell you why. When I say this, you are going to understand why I'm going here after this. All right. So this is what I think the opening day lineup is going to be. Right. That's what I think it's going to be. Hey, Mets, what's good, man? How you doing? Hey, so all right, let me do this. Right. All right. All right. So let's get some more people in this chat, but let me get this.
I just I wish we could be playing fantasy baseball. That's good. Can I have Mike Trout and Aaron Judge in here too?
All right. So here's the thing. Here's the reason why I'm going with this lineup. In a normal year, I think the lineup will be closer to what you're saying in a normal year, right? But I think the World Baseball Classic is going to force every MLB team to make early adjustments to their rosters. And a lot of young players are going to get a shot to prove something, right? I think hey, what's up, Mets? How you doing, man?
Not much. Tell me, would you prefer me wearing the 2012-2013 orange with blue bill hat, the current blue hat, or the old school black for this?
My preference has always been the black hat.
Black hat, yes.
Yep, that has always been. Now you wear what you want to wear, but if you're asking which one of those, is my favorite, which one do I prefer? I definitely prefer the black, probably because it's more rare. Is or associated with a winning time. Let me put it that way.
I don't understand why we stopped wearing this one.
I like that one too. So let me address the lineup thing just really quick, right? So the lineup I think is gonna look a little bit more like this. I think Jeff McNeil may play in the World Baseball Classic too. I think Francisco Lindor is gonna play also. I think Marte and Alvarez.
Marte is not
playing.
Oh, because of surgery.
Yeah, back injury.
Yeah, because of surgery. That's right.
Trust me, that back is going to be a problem if he doesn't recover quick enough for the season.
Right, and for that reason, I think our young players are going to be used more frequently than what people think. Now, mind you, listen, Buck Showalter is an old school dude, right?
True.
And I don't think Buck Showalter wants to play any kids, right? I think Buck wants to. Tom Thibodeau wants to win every game, wants to get the most out of every game, and you know what I mean. So, but my thing is with the new rules. So Mets with the new rules being implemented, right? With no second baseman or third baseman in short right field, and with no shift, and with the throw over rules from the pitcher and the pitch clock and all these things, I don't think that pitchers are going to throw 105 miles per hour fastball and then take a smoke break in between pitches to get their energy back up to throw another 105 mile per hour fastball.
Right.
I think you'll see velocity come down because pitchers will be more in a hurry to stay in compliance with the pitch clock.
True, I would say that, but how low are we talking? Like low 90s, upper 80s, like
No,
Cologne levels?
No, I'm talking about maybe getting down to about 94, 95, 94, something like that. I don't think you'll ever see the era of 90 miles per hour fastball being the standard anymore. Because these guys are so big and so strong and have these programs that they work on from college all the way through. See, they do, right now they just we call it cock and fire. Like rear back and throw it as hard as you can. Walk off the mound, gather yourself, take a deep breath, and then get back on the mound and throw another.
Can I give at least what my opinion would be the starting lineup at come opening day on March 30th?
Yeah, but listen, when you do it though, do it a little bit slower so I can put it on the screen. All right.
All right.
You see how we have them up here? Just give me a second to do this. All right. Give me a second. Just give me a second so that we can. All right. All right. So who's batting leadoff for you?
I'm going to say Nemo.
All right. Who's batting second?
Lindor.
Lindor's batting second?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Lindor is a switch hitter. And he plays shortstop. All right. Who's batting third?
McNeil.
Okay. Bear with me.
Keep Alonso at cleanup.
All right. Okay.
Marte in the 5 slot.
Okay.
Pham as the DH, not Alvarez.
Tommy Pham. He's a right-handed hitting DH, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. 7.
Canna.
All right. A right-handed batting left fielder. Okay.
Escobar at third.
Okay. Eduardo Escobar. All right.
And behind the plate,
Omar Narvaez. Or
sure.
Nito.
I mean, I don't know what Narvaez's numbers have been over the years, or if he's a rookie.
No, he's a.
Let me guess. He's a journeyman catcher, isn't he?
Yeah. So to me, he's like James McCann.
There not be another situation of James McCann.
Yeah, I know.
If that's the case, put Nito in that spot.
Tomas Nito? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Because I'd rather be better safe than sorry, and rely on a catcher who's good with his arm and his bat and showed massive improvements with the bat this past year, over a guy who was touted to be good with the bat and the arm, but only produced more often than not with his arm and not his bat, because most of the time, most of his best numbers came when he was constantly playing the AL Central during the bubble season.
Right. All right. So let me see here. I like I'm not gonna lie to you. I like your lineup.
Thanks.
I'm not for sure though. So this is Hoodie Cav. Let me ask you this, Hoodie Cav. Based on what you see from Hoodie Cav stepped off. But all right. So what the intriguing thing with the intriguing thing is I know you want to do the left, right, left thing with Lindor and McNeil, right? You know,
Yes.
left, right, left to ensure that pitchers don't get into a groove, right?
Yeah. The problem is
Um,
slots 4 through 9. The majority of the rest are all righties.
right, right. Um, my thing is against right-handed pitching. I think you're going to see Daniel Vogelback,
That's true.
right?
Yeah.
But either way, we're talking about maybe the majority of at bats here, and not just you know. But it with the so Hoodie Cab, do you when you see Mets's lineup, do you agree with the left right left right left right to keep a pitcher off balance theory, or are you more thinking um, um, Lindor can Lindor can get on base as well as steal bases in front of Jeff McNeil, whereas Jeff McNeil is not a renowned base stealer.
When it comes to base stealing, it's all depending on what you want. I even number 2 hitter. Buck is a little bit old school, right?
Old school, right?
Um, I believe he was coaching the Yankees and was the one who put Derek Jeter number 2. I mean, Derek
Right.
Jeter has never, even when he was younger, has never been a prolific base stealer.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. I
looking
mean,
at
the reason
thinking
Jeter
as
was brought up was more for the glove, not the bat. He just developed the bat over the years.
Right.
oh
But
no,
okay.
so with him being number 2, it kind of it raises up instead of pushes down the lineup.
Right.
And you see a lot of hitters who have been more traditional 3 and 4 batters batting second, or even leadoff now. I think Aaron Judge batted leadoff, which was crazy.
Which makes me sick to my stomach, and I think now that you'll see pitchers can only throw over twice in one at bat. I think now,
You're going to see less attempts at pickoffs.
yeah, you'll see less attempts at pickoffs, and which will make the pickoff attempts more precious, right? Like you're not just going to waste two throws over, right? Now you're going to have to give it. You have to do cat and mouse with the runner at first now, right? As opposed to throw over once and then he's going to guess whether you're throwing over again. Now you're going to be kind of judicious with the way that you hold runners on now.
Quick question, Uncle Freezy. Does this rule
Yes, sir.
apply? Same rule apply to runners that are on second or third?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. 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 So, but it's per runner, right? So if you have a runner on first and a runner on second, I think you can only throw the second twice, but nobody throws the second twice. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm sorry. You can only, yeah. Nobody throws the second 3 times, right?
It's very seldom anyone throws over the third anyway.
Yeah, and yeah. So when I see a lineup of Lindor, what I'm thinking is old school St. Louis Cardinals type baseball. When Tommy Herr was batting second, like they legit had Ozzie Smith, Tommy Herr, Keith Hernandez.
So 80s St. Louis.
Yes, 80s St. Louis, early 80s St. Louis. When they had Tommy Herr, Ozzie Smith, Keith Hernandez, Jack Clark, and those guys. It reminds me of that, where you have a definite leadoff man, you know what I'm saying? A definite leadoff man, and then a guy in the 2 hole that can get him over so that your boppers at 3, 4, 5 can drive him in with a single or a sacrifice fly. Yeah. Right. That's what I'm thinking when I see your lineup. When I see Hoodie Kev's lineup, it's work the pitchers. It's Yankees. It's Joe Torre Yankee style. Work the pitcher, make them throw a lot of pitches. Once you get to a even count, like 1-1, 2-2, 3-2. I know 3-2 is not even, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Look for a fastball to make hard contact and drive that ball somewhere.
Mhm.
That's what I think when I see Hoodie Cavs lineup. But now the only fault in Hoodie Cavs lineup, in my opinion, is when you get 5 through 9 or 5 through 8, you don't know what you're going to get.
Whereas in my case, with 4 through 9, you know what you're going to get, and it's very predictable. That's the flaw in mine, correct?
Right.
Well, I guess I lean into you don't know what you're. It's a box of chocolates with them. You never know what you're gonna get.
Right.
But you know, technically, career-wise, what Eduardo Escobar is, who Mark Canha is, who Tommy Pham is. You're hoping Narvaez recovers who he used to be probably for that season and a half.
Right.
So, like, Mark Canha is going to work the count.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to take a lot of pitches.
Right.
And we know the guys like McNeil and Marte will do the same.
Right. Yeah. So it's real. Like I said, it's all about, like I said, having the pitcher work. You're not going to have them work through 1 through 4, and then it's like, okay, I can have a quick inning. No, because Canha's gonna work the count. Escobar is gonna work the count. Nemo's gonna work the count.
Okay.
So there's no breaks in the lineup.
Okay. So, Uncle Freezy, what's the flaw in your lineup? What do you see in yours?
Okay. So with the lineup that I have, I'm leaning more towards kind of what your way, where it's get a leadoff man to work the pitcher. Brandon Nimmo is going to see 5 pitches per at bat. You know what I'm saying? 3-1, foul off some pitches, work the pitcher, and then potentially walk. Now, my thinking is once Brandon Nimmo gets on, right? A ground ball doesn't necessarily mean double play, for one, right? Because with Nimmo's speed, a ground ball doesn't necessarily automatically mean a double play. But Jeff McNeil, being a left-handed hitter, can pull that ball, a ground ball, to the right side of the infield, towards right field, right? Which advances the runner to second with 1 out. If it's a single, advance the runner to third against a weak right field arm. And now you have runners on first and third with Francisco Lindor, Pete Alonso, Starling Marte, Francisco Alvarez, all coming up to bat with 3 outs to use. Now, if McNeil advances the runner to second and 1 out, then your manager brings strategy into play. Like, what do you do right here? Do you let Francisco Lindor swing away free swing? Or do you ask Lindor to get on base, work the pitcher, so that you can have runners on first and second with Pete Alonso up, and you have to pitch to Pete because Starling Marte is covering up Pete Alonso in the lineup. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of times when Pete batted last year, he had no protection in the lineup.
True.
So it's like you have a runner. So the case was you have a runner on first and less than 1 out. You don't have to elevate anything to Pete, right? Because you want to induce Pete into hitting that ball on the ground. And we all know runner on first, ground ball on the infield.
With him up is usually double play.
Double play because he's not a runner, right?
Mm-hmm.
But pitching that ball down in the zone doesn't necessarily always lead to strikes. So if you walk Pete, right now, that means Marte is going to come up with either the bases loaded type situation, runners on first and third. You have to pitch to Marte, right? You can't pitch around Marte. right?
The same principle would apply if McNeil got a double and drove the leadoff runner home, correct?
Right. So basically, what I'm using is all you guys' theories into one. And full disclosure, I didn't talk to Mets 2128 before this or Hoodie Kev about this before we got started with the conversation. What it was is everybody has their own individual thoughts on how they feel like this lineup will work, but my thinking is this: take the Cleveland Indians old school approach, right? And I'm talking about with Tommy Ramirez, Albert Bell, Carlos Baerga, all of make pitchers pitch to good hitters, right?
I don't think our hitters compared to Manny, Tommy, and Bell in the middle.
Right. Not in the middle. Not in the middle. They don't. Right. But if you look at it at the top of it, at the top of your lineup, is Brandon Nimmo comparable to Kenny Lofton?
Somewhat.
Yes.
Except for the speed.
Except for the speed, but they do the same stuff, right? They basically get on base a lot, right? And then Jeff McNeil, does Jeff McNeil compare to Carlos Baerga? Yes.
Before we grabbed him.
Yeah, before he was fat Baerga. Before he was, yeah. But and then with that said, nobody in this lineup is as dangerous as Albert Bell batting third, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I take my chances with a pitcher having to pitch to Francisco Lindor with somebody on base and Pete Alonso as his protection. Because you're not just going to throw Lindor 4 balls and knowing Pete Alonso is on deck and can end the game with one swing and a bat. Pete Alonso can get you a 3-run lead with one swing and a bat. So you have to pitch to Francisco Lindor, which means you have to throw him fastballs, right? And now you have to throw him fastballs now, right? And there is no third baseman or second baseman in short right field. The shift is over, right? Mm-hmm. Now the pitcher is distracted by the runners on first who can get as big a lead as they want, right? Dangerous runners on. Now think about if you get big leads on these base paths, they can't throw those trick pitches like sliders in the dirt anymore because a bounce slider gets away from the catcher. Now our runners advance, right? And you still have Lindor at the bat.
And it'd be a death trap to give him the free pass.
Right.
Because if you do that, Pete comes up, and it's high probability he's going to knock it over the fence, and he's going to get a salami sandwich.
Right. And basically what I'm getting at is if we get Francisco Lindor, if Lindor can bat about 280 and hit about 28, 30 home runs, and it's possible because I think he's done it before.
I think he hit like 40 or so in 2016. Right.
And then you have Pete, who ideally you want Pete to bat somewhere in the neighborhood of about 260, 265 in about 40 home runs and 100 plus RBIs. Right now, if he bats over 265, that's great. But under no circumstance do we want him to bat under 265, is what I'm saying. If Pete bats 275, that's fantastic.
I mean, didn't he bet like 280 last year?
Right.
Or close to it.
Right. But and so Hoodie Kev, what I'm saying is my expectation is not for him to bat less than 265. If he bats 280, that's fantastic. That means think about it, you'll have McNeil batting about without the shift. I think McNeil's going to bat about 340. Easy 340.
JJ says the problem with all three of these lineups is there's not much power in each. But I think that's the point. As with last year's lineup, the Met lineups were structured around getting contact, not driving it over a fence, which was, I think, the main problem prior to last year that was constantly biting the team in the ass. We were so tunnel visioned on getting it over that fence, not just getting it to play.
Here's the thing. I'm not going to sit here and say we don't want power. Right. Because, again, one swing of the bat, instead of having, runners go from first to third, or whatever. Everyone's coming home,
Right. Yeah.
just like that.
Just like that.
And everybody wants that.
Right.
It's a balance you want to have, but ideally you would want some power with your 3, 4, 5 hitters.
Right.
If they could be like, to me, I look at the San Diego Padres and I'm like, God, that's just
the current era Padres, right?
Current era Padres.
This year's Padres is going to be something special. If all of them are who they have been, which they should, because you're going to have, when Tatis comes back, Tatis, Soto, Bogarts, Machado, Cronenworth,
Bell.
Yeah.
I mean, we get them almost.
I'm jealous of the San Diego Padres.
I get that part, right? But if we had all those guys, we'd have different lineups on the screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I get it. But my thing is and this is one of the speaking points I wanted to talk to, man, is I think we have power. We just have unproven power. I think Brett Beatty at a minimum, if he plays every day, is this year as a young player is about 255 and 18 home runs.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All right. I think Francisco Alvarez is probably about 265, 270, and 25 home runs. Right. Because our goal should be 200 home runs, right? Mm-hmm. Can we get a lineup, an everyday lineup that can crank out 200 home runs? Not the home runs off the bench, even though they count too. What I'm saying is I would rather get a lineup that generates 200 home runs, but I would rather a lineup that bats about 270 against the AL East, because the AL East has lineup. See, because think about the parks we play against, right? Think about how a lot of times we forget about the parks that we play in, right? Would a Nationals play, bro? You just pop the ball up, it's gone. With a Truist Park, if you just pop the ball up in the air, it's gone, bro. Philly, really? It's a wiffle ball park.
Well, the good thing about this season is, as I told you, we're going to play every team in the major. Now, we're not going to go to every park. Some of the teams will come to us.
Right.
True.
But we're going to play every single. So we'll probably go to 15 different ballparks this season.
Right. But my point, though, is about Citi Field.
Citi Field
is a pitcher's park. Right? So instead of having Starling Marte up grunting, swinging like the mighty Casey just to hit the ball out of the park, and then it's a 300-foot fly out to deep right field, why not just play the style that fits us? I mean, I know, listen, I'm with it. I want some power too, right? But since we play in the pitcher's park, why don't we just play to the style that fits our game? And I think that is what Billy Epler is looking to do. My only deal with what Billy Epler is looking to do, though, is
he's trying to emulate the Oakland A's teams for like a decade or two ago.
Right. Yeah.
Moneyball pitch, the Moneyball trap.
Yeah. So, and so no disrespect to Hoodie Kev's theory and to JJ's theory about we wish we had more power. Of course we do. So that we go in the Yankee Stadium, we could just hit home runs out of every field, left, center, and right, just like the Yankees.
Quick question. Is Yankee Stadium still a pitcher's park, or is that more of a hitter's park?
That's a hitter's park, definitely, man. The new Yankee Stadium is a hitter's park, bro. It's like Philly. If you hit the ball in the right field in Yankee Stadium, bro, it's gone.
Then outside of our park, what's the only other pitcher's park left in the majors?
San Diego.
Detroit.
The Dodgers. Yeah. So there are some pitcher's parks, man. It's San Diego, definitely. Chavez
Is it-
Ravine,
Is it still Comerica?
Yes.
Detroit. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So
The Mariners have a pretty big park too.
Yeah.
I've been watching the playoffs. I was like, why does that park look so big?
Big, yeah. And Colorado is huge.
And the only reason
Coors Field is huge.
Yeah, the only reason Coors Field is considered a quote unquote hitter's park, altitude.
Altitude, yeah. Yeah, I think it's in Coors Field, I think it's 335 down the lines, bro.
I think they keep moving I think their strategy was let's move the fences back.
Yes.
Like that was their strategy, like move it back. Like
right. Yes, it's like playing in your backyard. Coors Field is like playing in your backyard. Yeah. And so I think it's like 335 down the lines, which is crazy. But anyway, speaking to what the Mets are looking to do, I think if we get a balance, if we work pitchers and make pitchers throw us fastballs, I think this lineup has the potential to be the most dangerous lineup that we've had in a long time.
Would you count Houston as a pitcher's park?
Yes.
And that's mostly with the huge fence in center field that leads up to the Crawford boxes, right?
Right. And where Houston eats is they hit a lot of home runs on the road, I think. I think they hit a lot of home runs on the road.
Well, they have to, given you got that huge wall and the boxes in left field, and that huge back wall in center, from left center to right center. There's no way
to go to Houston June 19th, 20th, and 21st.
In June, huh?
Houston in
That would be an awesome road trip, bro.
We go to Detroit, Cincinnati, Colorado.
When do we go to Detroit?
May 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
I've actually been to Cincinnati, but it wasn't for a game against the Mets.
Okay. Play them. I'm looking at all of our road games for this season. So parks we had to go to. We go to Milwaukee. We go to the Dodgers. We go to that horrible crap box in Oakland.
Yeah.
We're going back to that shithole.
Yeah. We go to San
that's
Francisco,
terrible.
Detroit.
At this point, why does
I think San Francisco is a pitcher park too.
Can I ask a question?
Colorado.
All right.
When will Oakland do the major leagues a favor, tear down that stadium, and give the A's a new ballpark? But then again, the owner's a godforsaken cheapskate.
Yeah, I think they're definitely moving to Las Vegas. I think they're gone.
You know, there was actually a bit of scuttlebutt to move there was one rumor that the A's were actually going to come to Charlotte at one point.
Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, and I wouldn't have minded it because all the ball clubs around me, minor league farm teams, most of them for the White Sox.
Right. Yeah. I would say, let me ask y'all this. If there is a button that you can press to fix some stuff, what would be the move that you guys would look to do?
Arrest Carlos Correa's agent for swindling us and basically sandbagging us before deciding to go back to having Correa go back to the Twins.
Okay.
I don't blame it on Scott Boras. I mean, at this point, the funny thing is ESPN, I need to renew my ESPN Insider. ESPN already has an article about the 25 players most likely to get traded at the trade deadline in baseball.
Who are they?
Well, I said I got to renew my ESPN Insider because it's an insider thing. I thought that was funny.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. If I had a magic wand and could fix one spot on the Mets roster, I would definitely look at getting a fourth outfielder that could do something.
Yeah,
because Starling Marte's injury is still scaring me, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like we need another bat.
Yeah, Travis Jankowski couldn't do much. Darren Ruff was garbage.
Khalil Lee got arrested today.
That's why you got Tommy Pham,
Yeah, he won't be
the
here
Pham
long.
bots.
He won't be here long. I kind of wish we just signed Trey Mancini, you know, but
We just signed him at the deadline last year, but Billy
Yeah.
Epler was too slow to pull the trigger on any of those trades.
yeah. And so I think where he is though, and I'll give Billy Epler a little credit, not much, because I think he's been slow to make moves, like you said. But I do believe that the Mets organization has faith that one of these 5 kids is going to be an everyday player. One of them, not all of them, but they're hedging their bets. They're thinking like, so we got 5 kids with humongous upside. Can we get one of them to be a good everyday player? Right. And so if that's the mindset, because think about it, if you have 5 really good prospects and none of them can become a good everyday player, then now you got to reassess what you're doing as a farm system, right? You know what I mean? So I think that's where they're going with it. My only thing is even if one of them pops, right? Where is that one set player going to play at?
Good question.
Do you put Vientos on first and make Pete DH?
No.
Okay.
Because we've
Okay.
seen how that usually backfires, moving a catcher to first base.
Yeah. And so the thing with Pete is he is one of those guys that his bat falls off when he DHs, which is weird. You would think it would be the opposite.
And he wants to play first.
To
He
play
is
every
adamant.
day. Yeah.
He is adamant about playing first. And I'll give him this. Although he is not Keith Hernandez or John Olerud.
No. He's not even Rico Bronya. You remember Rico Bronya?
Yeah, I remember him.
He's not terrible. And he's put in a lot of work and he's been better. He's very average.
Right.
And average is better than where he was.
Yeah. Yeah. What I'm gonna say, what I would say is of these kids, and I'm not saying, oh, play the kids every day. Somebody's gonna be a megastar. No, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah,
what I'm saying is a few of these kids have the skill that we've been looking for to fill some of these positions. And what I would do is before I trade them off for, say, what's the third baseman in Toronto? What do you have?
Matt Chapman.
Yeah. Before I trade these guys off for Matt Chapman, I would at least give them a look before I trade for Matt Chapman.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I would at least give them a long look before I trade them all for Brian Reynolds.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what? Brian Reynolds. Yeah, I perked up for a little bit.
Yeah. And for that reason, I think that's the reason why my man didn't go after the dude from the Dodgers that signed with the Cubs.
Trey Turner? No, wait, that's not him.
No, the outfielder.
Trey Turner?
No, the outfielder from the Dodgers.
Cody Bellinger?
Cody Bellinger. I think that's the reason why they didn't sign.
We were like, that was when Cody Bellinger and Brandon Nimmo were out together, right? So they signed
free agents at the same time.
Well, not free agents. It's just that they signed so close to each other. So it's kind of like, hey, if we lose out on Nimmo, we can go to Bellinger because Bellinger is seen as, I just want to play center field. I only want a 1-year deal.
Right.
To whereas if you brought back Nimmo, there was no point in going after Bellinger. I always thought that Bellinger would have been the backup plan anyways, had Nimmo signed somewhere else.
If I'm the Mets, I offer him more money, put him in left. Oh, I'm sorry, offer him more money, put him in right, put Marte in left, right? That way I can protect Marte, keep Marte healthy all season. And quite frankly, Bellinger has more range and a bigger arm in right than Starling Marte. We all know that.
I mean, if he wants to play center field, I don't think that much money. Because I feel Cody Bellinger feels like his shoulder's getting bad. He just has to prove he can still be. He'll make more money as a elite center fielder than he will an elite right fielder.
He thinks he will make more money, but you know where you start to make more money at? Proving yourself in the playoffs.
Yep.
Well, he
That's how
does
you-
have
yeah.
a World Series ring and an MVP.
Right.
I put an asterisk on those because it was in the bubble season.
Bowl season. Right.
I mean, do you hear? Let me put it like, let me
No,
just
not
say,
his MVP season.
His MVP season was the season before that, right?
Yeah, that was the season before.
But I'm
Okay.
just saying-
Either way.
I'm just saying, but let me just put something in context when you compare 2020 to, say, the 1995 season. Do people put an asterisk on that Braves team winning it because 18 games saved off due to a player strike? No, they don't.
No.
Correct?
Right.
But do people put asterisks on the Dodgers' 60-game season 2020 title because it was a COVID pandemic?
Right.
Nick, yes,
Right.
because it wasn't a full-fledged season. Hardly anyone showed up. And personally, it was a season that many believe, myself included, should never have been played anyway.
Right. Okay. All right. My deal is though, I think the Mets probably listen, and I have nothing against Mark Canha, but I don't see Mark Canha as extending the lineup. I see Mark Canha as a ham sandwich. Right.
With or without
That's right. I don't see him. I don't see Mark Canha as that guy extending the lineup, being a franchise type player. I think he is a space holder until we find somebody that's going to do it on an everyday basis. Right. And so if I can upgrade left field, third base, DH, and catcher, I want to do that. I want to do that. And how I upgrade left field is by giving guys a chance to play out there. Like I'm giving Brett Beatty a chance to play. I'm giving Ronnie Mauricio a chance to play out there to see if he can do anything. Right? Because these guys have the 21st century skills. Like these guys are athletic, strong arms, powerful bats, hit for average. And if it clicks at the major league level, now you're talking about having a David Wright type, Kevin McReynolds type of bat in your lineup, where it's a dependable 280 average and 20 home runs, maybe even 10 or 15 stolen bases.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I know Mark Canha is a quality guy. You need Mark Canhas for the clubhouse and such. But we don't care nothing about that when we face the Braves in the playoffs. We face the Braves in the playoffs in Atlanta in Game 4, down 2-1. I don't care that Mark Canha's wife brought everybody macaroni salad. I don't care about stuff like that. I need somebody to step up and be somebody.
Macaroni salad helps club morale. When you're down, like, I remember when Nancy Canha brought that macaroni salad, made me happy.
Yeah.
Let me go there and hit this.
And orange slices. I get it. Yeah.
Let me go there and hit this double to tie the game up.
Yeah, I get it. But no. I need a bopper. I need a difference maker. And Mark Canha is not that.
Mark Canha has won a game for us. Actually, I think 2.
Out of 162? Wow.
Hey, when you are the direct reason, how many?
You talking about the game against the Phillies? Yeah. Okay. What's he doing?
When you are the direct reason we won the game, it's not that many times where you can say, "You won us this game."
Yeah, against the Phillies, I get it. I get that. I get that, man. But look,
big moment too, because that's when we were like sliding, and then we like went on that little streak to kind of extend our lead back up again.
Yeah, I get that part, right?
Mark Canha.
How did you like how the season finished? Did you like how the season finished with Mark Canha?
anytime that my team does not win the championship, I'm unhappy.
Mark Cannon. His wife brought macaroni salad.
For me, I was more or less mad because with the way the Braves series played out last season, it was boiled down to the fact that I don't even know how they allowed this kind of pitch tipping and sign stealing. McCann was basically giving away the pitches in that final game, and everyone was getting tipped off on the Braves once they got to second. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that annoyed me. Throw in the fact that the Mets made the cardinal sin against teams they should beat on paper throughout the whole month of September, specifically with the Cubs.
Right.
And it's 6 simple words. Do not play with your food.
Right. Hoodie Cap.
I am not going to live in revisionist history. Last season was a step in the right way, a step in the right direction.
Okay.
And everyone is, obviously, everyone's saying the right things about we're going to be better.
Yeah.
And
everybody's saying the right thing. I've been working really hard this offseason. Everybody's saying the right things. I can't wait till spring training, or I'm playing in the World Baseball Classic. I can't wait to represent my country. Everybody's saying the right things.
You know what they say, talk's cheap. Yeah. You got to prove it with action.
You got to prove it.
We're going to see. We'll see. And listen, I'm not sitting here saying that I'm not worried about the Braves. And the Braves might be the most complete team, not just in our division, but in baseball. They have, defense, starting pitching, bullpen, speed, power. The Phillies lineup, even without Bryce Harper, is impressive. And it's not like their starting pitching is scrubs, because they have two, Nola and Wheeler can go. They're not as good, they're not as good as Verlander and Scherzer, right?
They're going to pitch it. They're going to probably...
But they'll go toe-to-toe. They're not going to back down.
Right. They have good pitching.
The bullpen that killed the Phillies most of last season.
Yeah.
Most of the past several.
And their defense was awful up until a certain point.
But they've really done a good job this offseason with bringing people in for that bullpen.
They're bringing in flamethrowers. I can't... And Hoodie Cap, I understand where you're going. I don't want to cut you off, right? But I can't wait until I see the Mets against their bullpen. See, because they brought in arms, they didn't bring in pitches. They brought in arms. And I can't wait until those arms are affected by the new rules. They brought in big, strong dudes throwing 152 miles per hour. And of course, that's hyperbole. But these dudes have track records of not holding people on base. They can sometimes get wild and walk batters, right? And so they had to shore up the bullpen, but they shored up the bullpen with upgrades of what they already had, which was trash. But they basically upgraded from trash to household garbage. You know what I'm saying? It's like how our offense is upgraded, and you're like, where do we upgrade? Where do we upgrade? Because we made minimal upgrades to our offense, right? Mm-hmm. Tommy Pham is better than Darren Ruff, right? Right. Omar Narvaez is better than Thomas Nimmo in the box.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So we made marginal upgrades to our lineup. They made marginal upgrades to their bullpen. Only difference in between their bullpen this year and last year is they throw harder. That's it.
It's like basically going from a maggot to dirt in the pecking order.
Right. They didn't add an Edwin Diaz to their bullpen.
They subtracted a David Robertson from their bullpen.
Right.
Because we've got him for a year now.
Right. So, yeah, I agree with you, Hoodie Cap. What I'm saying is right now on paper, I feel like without adjusting for the rules and the way the game is going to be played in 2023, if you just go by what people did in previous years, I think the Mets may be third. But if the Mets can thrive in this with these new rule changes, I think we might be the best team in baseball.
And here's
Even
my
in the new rules, the Braves are still better than us.
At what?
What aren't they better than us at? Because they have more speed than us.
You
They're
think
better
they have more
defenders
speed
than
than
us.
us?
They do have more speed than us.
Where?
Acuna.
Acuna's
Albies.
fast. Albies fast.
Harris
is fast.
right there. That's more speed.
So we don't have speed.
Who's that new shortstop? The kid.
Grissom.
Grissom. That's 4.
Grissom only looks fast, bro. I hadn't seen him do anything fast.
I'm pretty sure he's fast.
He looks fast.
You don't look fast without being fast.
You know, he looks fast. He plays second base, bro. You don't see. When have you seen a second baseman sprint out full speed, bro?
Ray Durham.
Ray Durham hadn't played in 20 years. You may as well have said Bull Durham. You may as well have said Leon Durham.
Here's my take on things. What killed
Jazz Chisholm?
Okay, that would work, but
he's a center fielder.
Now he's a center fielder, but before he was a second baseman.
He started by playing second, didn't he?
Yeah.
He technically hasn't even played center field yet.
Well, anyway, my take on what happened last year is this. What killed both the Mets and Braves? One was playing keep away. The other was putting pedal to the metal to play catch up, in my opinion. That's what gassed both of them out in the playoffs. Would you agree with that?
Yes. The Braves didn't have any energy left, no gas left in the tank in the playoffs.
Same thing with the Mets.
The Mets, in my opinion, got outclassed. I think their strategy, their approach in the playoffs was bad. I think they should have went Jake in game 1.
Well, that and they gassed themselves out by constantly trying to play keep away.
And our morale was low because September, though it was a month to remember for Eduardo Escobar, for the rest of the roster, it was terrible.
A month to forget.
Yes.
I mean, I did quite a few rants called Blame Buck for some of the dumb decisions in that month. Case in point. Final game against the Cubs. You go with Peterson or Williams. I say go Williams. He went Peterson, and it blew up in his face. Yep.
Buck is not what you call a big game manager, bro. We already know his history. Buck is an excellent 162 manager, but he is not a big game manager. And you can merely just look at those Texas Rangers teams. They had those huge leads and those great offenses. And then when the rubber met the road, Texas folded.
He was only there from 02 to 04, not the later years.
Was he there to 02? I thought he was there for...
No, he wasn't. It was only from 02 to 04.
Three seasons, right?
Yeah, that's how I usually put him on a leash. 3 seasons. It was
3 seasons, that's it.
Yeah, it's with Baltimore where he was there for too long.
Yeah, and they rebuilt twice under Buck, which was ridiculous. How do you rebuild twice?
That's my point. He's a short-term fix. I mean,
right.
And I mean, yeah, he's a step up from Luis Rojas, who in 2021.
Oh, jeez, all of us are step up from him.
I went off the handle on that son. If I may go off, I went off the handle on that son of a bitch because he crumpled under the pressure of the injury bug.
Luis Rojas.
Yeah,
he was terrible. Mickey Callaway, he was terrible.
Though he could at least put together things in the back half.
Yeah.
It was the front half, specifically May through June, where Mickey struggled. You know what his June record was in the 2 years we had him? No. 15-34.
Yeah, that's terrible.
15-41. I don't remember.
Either way, it don't 15 games in 2 years. That's still terrible. It don't matter.
In June.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In 2 years in June. Yeah, you're talking about June and June, right? June's record over the course of 2 years, 15 wins. That's still terrible, regardless of how you add the math. It's terrible. It's terrible, guys. I gotta get out of here so I can prep for the Knicks at Night podcast.
All right, later. Yeah, man. This year.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for coming through, man. This was fun. I want to do this tomorrow.
Let's go Liberty.
I'm gonna try to do this. I'm gonna try to do the pitching rotation tomorrow. Maybe we could do the pitching rotation and some how we're gonna approach the bullpen and all of that. So all right, y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out with us. Peace, y'all.